Hey there, thanks for joining me today. This is Laura Lynn with Keep Inking Up. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In San Antonio, Texas. And today I'm going to share how to make this fun fold card. I don't know if it has a name or not, but it's a really fun looking card that looks really complicated to make, but it really truly isn't. It's very simple. So we're going to go step by step so I can show you exactly how to make this card. I love this particular version because it uses the black and white perfectly penciled designer series paper that is from our annual catalog, and it also uses these fun dies that are the summer shaded dies. What are they called? The Summer Shadows dies that coordinate with the shaded summer stamp set. So here's the dies and here's the stamp set. I love how they layer, and I just really like this card. It's black and white with a pop of color. I think it's a very striking card. So we're not going to make this card exactly, but I am going to share how to make this fun fold. So let me set this aside, and I'm going to pull out my supplies for this card that we're going to make. So I'm going to begin with our card base, which is a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of our basic black cardstock. Then I'm going to pull in my trimmer, and I'm going to cut off 2 3/4 inches. And this will make sense as we go along. So I'm going to cut it 2 3/4 inches. And we're going to save this piece. We're going to use this on the card. And then I'm going to take this, what's left over, and I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. Because normally with the card base, you would be scoring at 5 1/2 anyway. So I have my card. I forgot to bring my bone folder over. So I'm going to try to crease that as best as I can with my finger. You really do need to have a bone folder, but I forgot to bring it over when filming this video. So remember, this completed the card. That would have been a regular size card, but now we've got two pieces. We've got our card base, and now we have this piece. So what I also did next is I cut a piece of the designer series paper to 4 by 2 1/2 inches, and that is going to layer right in the center of this piece that we cut off. And I'm going to adhere that with some liquid glue. You don't put too much. I probably put a little too much there, but hopefully we'll get that spread around really well. Let's go ahead and spread that out. So I'm going to put that right on the center of this piece. Try to spread around that glue. And then I'm going to set that aside. I have another piece exactly the same size, so it's 4 inches by 2 1/2 inches, and that's going to go on this piece here. Now remember, this was the piece, so they're equal. So that's why the dimensions are the same. So we will put a little bit of glue on that one and adhere that right there on that piece. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. So that's part of our card finished. So I'm going to set that, well, I'm not going to set it aside yet. We're going to now put a piece on the inside of the card. So now this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4, but you can notice I have a hole out in it. What I like to do is whenever I'm going to be covering up holes, I like to save as much paper as possible. So I cut out the center because I know that I'm going to be covering up that center later on in the card. So this piece, like I said, it started out as 4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut out 3/4 inch from the edge. And I used my paper trimmer to do that. And if you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I did a recent video on how I added tear and tape to my trimmer so I could easily read the numbers. And the reason is I used these numbers to help me cut out the opening. So what I had done is I put the card base, or the piece of designer series paper in the track, and then I used the numbers along here to help me know where to stop and start cutting to cut out the hole out of my cardstock. You could also use dies if you wanted to. I just happen to use my trimmer for this. So I'm going to go ahead and add liquid glue again to this piece and put this on the inside of my card. I'm going to center that as best I can. I love the stripes on this particular pattern piece. So we'll stick that down like that. And next I can add this piece onto the front of my card. But what I want you to make note of is we only want to glue it to this part so that the card will open. If we glue the whole part down, then we'll glue our card shut, and that won't be any fun, right? You won't be able to open your card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball. That's going to be about in the center of my card. So I'm going to hold it here, which means I'm only going to put glue on this side of my thumb. So now when I center this on my card, I won't go too far over. That looks about right, and you can still see there's no glue over in here. Press that down really well. And that's the basis of the card. Well, we have to add the middle inside here. So I have a piece of our basic white cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and that is what I'm going to put on here. Now I'm going to help me make sure this is lined up correctly, I'm going to put some glue on it. And then not the glue side, but the other side I'm going to lay up next to the flap because I want it to be underneath that. So I'm going to hold on to that with my hands, and then I'm going to close the card. And when I do that, then I know that the white, the basic white, will be behind my front part. I won't have anything showing when the card is closed. So you can see there the card is closed. You don't see any white. When you open it, you've got white in there to write your message. Okay, so that's the basis of the card base. So now all we need to do is decorate it. So like I showed you with this one, I decorated it with, this is a sentiment from the Charming Sentiments stamp set that I heat embossed and cut out with the coordinating dies, and then of course I added the floral dies on that one. So today I have already cut one of the Kindest Gnomes from the Kindest Gnomes bundle. I love this bundle. I've used it quite a bit. So I'm going to add him on my card with some dimensionals. So I'm going to put 2 here on the bottom. I want to make sure he's very well supported on my card, like that. So I'll take the backings off, and then I'll stick him over here onto the left side. Then I've got, before I put those on, then I have another sentiment from the Charming Sentiments that I've already stamped and die cut, and I actually die cut 2 other layers, so I have dimension on there. So instead of adding dimensionals, I added 2 layers of our basic white cardstock just to give it a little bit more stability on there and to give it kind of like a chipboard look. So I'm going to glue this then onto my card, and I think that I want to put it up here. I think that'll look cute. And then I have some mushrooms that are also from the Kindest Gnomes bundle there, the bonus dies from the bundle. And I think what I'm going to do, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to put him on first, this particular mushroom on first. Put it right like that. Then I'm going to add my other one. I'm going to add a little dot of glue on there so that I can attach the 2. Oh, maybe added a little too much glue there. And add the little mushrooms there onto the bottom of my card. Isn't that a cute card? Good luck with the gnome on there. And then I've got plenty of room on the inside to write. So that is a fun fold card. I do have a couple of samples that I wanted to share, how you can use this with whatever designer series paper and whatever stamps that you have. Here's another fun one that they used the celebration paper that ended last month. But again, I used the Charming Sentiments for the wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And again, it has the white on the inside. And I have, of course, a coordinating envelope with that particular card. I also made another more masculine looking card. This used the retired oh my goodness, what was that called? Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really, really popular designer series paper. And then this is a happy birthday sentiment from a retired stamp set. But same thing, I have the inside like that. And again, I did the coordinating envelope. So you can use whatever kind of designer series paper that you have, any stamp sets, any dies that you have, and to make a really fun fold card that is sure to impress whoever you send it to. So thank you again so much for joining me today. I hope that you learned something new, and we'll give this design a try, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.